What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Have You Nerd. Today we're going to take a look at the classic suit Spider-Man hot toy from the Spider-Man video game, PS4. But this is basically just a classic suit Spider-Man. Works for any classic suit Spider-Man you're trying to get going, like any display purpose, comic book, whatever. If you want to put him in some old school animated display, I don't know, but he works as a classic Spider-Man, even though he's technically from the PS4 video game. Comes with this dope diorama piece that goes with the display base, connects onto it in the background, really amps up the whole display of this figure. Really cool. Everything in the clamshell. Let's take it all out, take a look. All the accessories, everything he comes with. He's got his array of hands here. All your Spider-Man hands needs. You got the whipping hands, the pointing hands. Comes with these two different dynamic stands, and we'll see why in a minute. One's for the scorpion tail, and one's for Spider-Man himself, and they both connect to this base. Pretty decent base. I like the design of the base, and this long one is for Spider-Man, and the shorter one is for the scorpion tail, and you connect that piece to the base. And the scorpion tail is really nice. It's like rubber type material. The paint job's pretty nice. It's a little toyish on the yellow parts, but the rest of the paint job is great. And then that stinger part, this paint job is really, really good. But these yellow bits, a little toyetic, little bit under Hot Toys quality, I believe, but the rest is really, really good. And yeah, that stinger looks amazing. The translucent tip, and it is articulated on a ball joint, and the ball does pivot both ways, up and down, and left to right, sideways. So, yeah, nice articulation out of the stinger. And again, the translucent tip, you could see the battle damage on it, and the bendy rubber type material, great. It's a great tail, don't get me wrong. I cannot complain. It looks great, it's perfect. This newspaper accessory I was blown away by. This is really cool. This looks awesome in the display with him holding it, or just anywhere in the display. This is like wicked cool. All the little details, like Easter eggs too, if you go through, then actually look at the articles. It's really cool, all the thought that went into this. And yeah, you got the devil in Lin Lee, who was like one of the head bad guys, head of the dragons, or whatever the name of the gang, I forget now. And there's even a picture of Miles down here, winning some award at his high school, something like that, like being a genius that Miles is, whatever. But yeah, just really cool Easter eggs and details in there. Even got the little horoscope on the back page. Greatest hits on the city. I don't know what that means exactly. White Hot Spidey. You could see the headlines. Wicked cool accessory. Pretty good quality. The paper's durable, thick. Yeah, I love that little newspaper. And take a little closer look at the hands here out of the tray. The paint job is really nice. The raised webbing effects are good. I see a couple little slips on a few of the hands on the webbing effects on the paint, but overall they look really good. The texture and the sculpting into it is all great. I mean, they look amazing. You got the pointed hand, of course, for the classic suit Spidey. We're gonna need that because when we get all these Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield, Toby, all together pointing at each other, it's gonna be amazing. And then these new Spider-Man figures have been coming with this extra piece for the webbing effects instead of building it into the wrist, which I really like. So you could just take the little piece off of the whipping hand, and it has the web shooters still built into the figure for the just aesthetic of it, of having the web shooter. But now when you want to use the web effects, you actually just pull this little piece off of his hand here, and it just comes out. You gotta put a little pressure, pops right out, and then you see these 3 peg holes, and you just line the peg holes up with the pegs in the other wrist shooter, and that's it. And then once you pop that bad Susie back in there, just like so, now you can equip any web effect you want to it, and you can see the pegs slotting in there. That's why I put it sideways like that, so you could see the pegs kind of slotting right into the holes. And you gotta want to kind of line them up, because if you don't want one of those pegs to snap off, because it probably won't fit right on. So kind of look at it from the side, make sure they're lined up, apply the pressure, and it'll slot right in there, and it'll be nice and sturdy. Then you got your whipping hands, which of course are your web shooting hands, so those are the only ones that do that, but those are the only ones that need to do that. You're not going to have them punching someone while shooting a web effect, so of course. Then you get the standard array of webs from every Spider-Man we've gotten for a while now. You get the grip in hand for that one web slinging effect, which we've seen a few times now. We should be familiar with, but I'll show it to anybody who doesn't own a Spider-Man hot toy yet. He just grips onto it like that. Each end of that web effect will plug into one of those holes. And then here's your assortment of web effects. You got the long shooter, the shorter shooter with the ball on the end, the long shooter that's just straight that you can equip the little net on the end to. All different effects. A lot of cool web effects. So you got tons of options when it comes to your web shooters. But there you go. And then look at the photography options. When you have it aimed right at the camera like that, you get that 3D type of effect with it coming at you. I mean, they're great. Like, these figures, Hot Toys is amazing. Like, every time I get a new one, I kind of am just blown away at how good and how realistic they are. And all the crazy accessories that they come with just make it fun. They make it fun for us to play with and pose and get cool pictures. Come up with crazy ideas for your pictures or displays. It's fun, man. They gave us the pointing finger, knowing what we're going to do with it. Gave us this dope diorama background for the base. But here we go. Let's take a look at the main man himself, the classic suit Spidey. I mean, look at the colors on this figure. Just pop, the eyes, a little bit of a tiny difference between the head sculpt and the suit, but they matched it pretty nicely. Like, you can barely tell. And from a distance, you can't tell at all. The articulation is great. It's a Spidey. It's better than some other Spider-Man I've gotten. I feel more comfortable, I guess, moving this than some other Spider-Man, where it doesn't feel like the suit's so tight or stiff. And some of these Hot Toys, the suits are so tight, I feel like when I raise the arm all the way up, I'm putting a lot of stress on that seam, and it's going to tear. So Like my Mysterio, I'm really nervous about moving that Mysterio. But like raising his shoulders, arms all the way up. But this Spider-Man I felt really comfortable with, so it feels solid. And the articulation is good. Uh, most Hot Toy Spider-Man have pretty good articulation. I mean, you've heard it probably said other places, the homemade suit, stuff like that, is better because you don't have to worry about the wrinkling or suit damage. But, you know, he does the splits, his legs go all the way up 90 degrees, got good waist bend both ways. You know, look at that. Look at that back bend. So, he'll get into some crazy Spider-Man poses for you. You don't have to worry about that. A little padding in the chest and stuff, but it doesn't affect the ab crunch much. It's a Spider-Man. If you own a Hot Toy Spider-Man, you basically know what you're getting. But like I said, I feel more comfortable with this suit. Real quick, you get a closer look at the hands while I zoom in for some of these accessories. You get the phone here, which does have the screen lit up with the call, the Oscorp logo on it, the different eyes, which again, you've seen with Spider-Man. If you're new to Spider-Man, they're magnetic. They just pop out, and you can pop any different eye lens in. Literally, that's all you do. You pull the eye lens out, and the other one magnetizes right in. Now, let's zoom in. Like I said, couple like little misses on the webbing, but it's like you really have to magnify in to even see anything wrong with them. The texture on the suit, I mean, look at the texture, the detail, like it just looks so quality. The texture between the hands and the suit blend pretty well. You can't tell that one's plastic and one's material. The tread on the bottom of the sneaker or costume, shoes, whatever you want to call that. Spider logo. Again, the head sculpt and the costume blend beautifully. Like, you're not going to notice that at all on a shelf. Like, you really have to look to notice that one's plastic, the difference. The texture's all there, the sculpting's there. Now, on to this diorama base, which is dope. This is really cool that they threw this in. And it's like just some quality cardboard and that plastic on the window. Some of the stuff is raised to give it a little 3D effect. And I'm sure this didn't cost them a ton of money to throw in, but it adds so much. The spray paint, like just the texture on the brick, has this raised type texture, and that's raised the air conditioning to give it a 3D look. The crack on the plastic of the window looks great. Looks like an actual cracked window, like when you were a kid and threw a ball through a window by accident. You know, like it just feels quality, looks good. The way they did ledge on the roof too, with the square little ledge to have them sit on or whatever. It just all this extra stuff and options now. I like the ledge. Like, I don't know. I like all of it. It's just really cool little extra bit to throw on. And then the scorpion tail, the extra dynamic stand, the ton of hands, the web accessories, the newspaper. This thing is loaded with accessories, and none of them are filler. It's all of them are great. All of them I could see myself using. There is no filler in this figure, in this box. Hot Toys killed it. Again, I say this all the time. You could tell when they are having fun making a figure and enjoying coming up with ideas and concepts and everything. And they had fun with this figure. So, yeah, you just put it on the base like that, and you could put it over the dynamic stand, so it's covering it and the stand's behind the wall. I just did this to show you guys how you kind of set it up, but this is how you put the two dynamic stands in the flight poles. So you screw one flight pole, put that plastic piece on first, screw one flight pole in, that'll secure that plastic piece on, and then the other flight pole plugs into that plastic extended piece. And that's all. And then you got two dynamic flight stand poles, one for the tail, one for Spidey, and you bang out poses like this, and you have a blast with this figure and its accessories. That's what you do, because Hot Toys killed this figure. I don't know what else to say. This is amazing. I had fun opening it. I had fun seeing everything that it came with. Like, every little accessory was just exciting to get in hand and look at and just fought around with. I had this pose, excuse this pose. It is trash. I know that. I like to end with some pictures. I was shooting this video while my son was napping, and he woke up just as I finished shooting, of course, and was getting ready to take some pictures. So, yeah, I just set everything up, was getting ready to take some pictures, and that's when he decided to wake up. But hey, that's life. Is what it is. Didn't get a chance to get back in and get any better ones before I could get this video out. Wanted to get it out. Was excited to get this figure in hand and play with it and talk about it and hopefully show some people about it. Whoever watches this, I know it's not much, but hey, I have fun doing it. Till next time, peace, and thank you for watching. Peace out, y'all.